So a rematch of last year's final is taking place in round number 1 of Super Rugby Pacific. The Blues at Eden Park up against the Chiefs. Now the last time this match happened, like I said, it was the final and it was a little bit one-sided. But this year, both sides are stacked. Should be an outstanding contest and a great way for these two sides to start off their Super Rugby campaign. And in this preview, we'll be looking through at the lineups, including the key players, results from last year, and then our prediction for how we think it will go for this contest. But jumping straight into it, the Blues, they have got plenty of All Blacks throughout their starting 15, including this front row. Number 1, Ofa Tuangafasi. Number 2, Ricky Riccatelli. Some people would argue that he should have got that All Blacks opportunity last year. And then number 3, Marcel Renata. So for the All Blacks last year, we saw quite a bit of Ofa Tuangafasi. He played that impact role off the bench extremely well. Had a great Super Rugby for the Blues last year too. In the locking duo, it will be Lachlan McWannell at number 4 and number 5, Patrick Tuipulotu. He also has the captaincy for the Blues throughout the year. Number 6, Anton Segner. Number 7, Dalton Papali'i. And number 8, Cameron Suafua. Now, of course, last year we saw a lot of Hoskins Satutu in that number 8 jersey. Had some incredible stats, but Suafua, he's got the type of build to be able to do just that throughout this season too. And having Segner and Dalton Papali'i, expect to see a few turnovers for the Blues. And this matchup in the backline, it will be Taufa Funaki with Harry Plummer as the fly half. Out on the left wing, Caleb Clark. Great season last year for the Blues. Carried that over into the international game. Hopefully he has a great standout season here too. In the midfield, AJ Lamb at number 12 and number 13 being Rico Ioane, number 14 Mark Talia, and number 15, a man who last year started at 10 as well as 15 for the All Blacks. For the Blues though, find themselves in that fullback role, and that is Beauden Barrett. Couple notable names off the bench. They have got Finley Christie, Shay Clark, who is a man who comes from the 7 side of things and has got a lot of potential. Ta'avao and Fusitua as the 2 prop replacements for the Chiefs. In their starting side, number 1, Ollie Norris. Number 2, Brodie McAllister, who made that transfer from the Crusaders. And number 3, it is George Dyer. In the locking duo, Ngātoa Akoi and Josh Lord, 2 men who could find themselves in the All Blacks kit at the end of the year if this season is standout enough. Number 6, Simon Parker. Number 7, Kalen Boshier. And number 8, it is Luke Jacobson. Now, of course, no Wallace Satiti for the start of the Super Rugby Pacific season. Jacobson, he was also in that All Blacks setup, although did have his fair share of injuries near the end of the year, but he's back now in that number 8 jersey. Number 9, Xavier Rowe, with number 10 being the youngster Josh Jacob. A lot of people excited to see where that young man takes his career. Mackenzie, he's going to be playing at 15 for this game. And Josh Jacob, he did get the All Blacks XV call-up, so perhaps a pretty decent option in that number 10 jersey throughout the season. Out on the left wing, Atino Nana Satoro, Quinn Tupai and Daniel Rona make up the midfield. Leroy Carter, another man from the 7 side of things, out on the right wing. He's got a lot of pace, runs hard with the ball, and also isn't too bad at getting those turnovers. A little bit similar to what we see someone like a Sevu Reece do for the Crusaders, how you don't really expect it to be a winger getting that turnover, but with Leroy Carter, it certainly could be the case. And then 15, the smiling assassin, Damian McKenzie. The 2 men that were predominantly used at 10 throughout last season for the All Blacks, both starting at 15 here for Super Rugby. But jumping into their bench, few notable names. Amoni Naroa is there. Summer Penny Finau, Cortez Ratama, Tupo Vai, Anton Leonard-Brown, all Blacks that they will be able to use later on in this contest. So I look forward to seeing what kind of impact that can bring late. But in terms of the starting lineups, maybe you'd just say there's a slight advantage for the Blues side. But jumping straight into the key players, I feel like I've pretty much mentioned them. All of the All Blacks coming back into Super Rugby, they will want to stand out, because if they don't, their spot could be replaced with the next up-and-coming talent. So they have to prove themselves. But in particular for the Blues, there are players who need big games, and there are players who I believe will have big games. Caleb Clark, I think, will be outstanding out on that left wing throughout this 80 minutes. Harry Plummer at 10, I'm curious to see how he goes, because of course he signed his overseas contract, not eligible for the All Blacks anymore, but he still wants to have the best possible performance in each game that he plays in. And when he's partnered with Beauden Barrett at 15, perhaps that will be something that Razor sees and realises that he won't get to do that now since Plummer did sign that French contract. In terms of the fullback, Tui Pilotu, the finish to last year's Super Rugby certainly made him a must-watch for any opposition that he does go up against. For the Chiefs, Quinn Tupaea, Daniel Rona, that is an exciting midfield pairing. Pia's ball running, he's going head-to-head with AJ Lamb. So there's going to be some big shots coming in between those two. Xavier Rowe likes to push the pace from that 9 jersey, and having that X factor of Ratama off the bench as well. It's going to be very exciting. And I feel like there's about 10 head-to-heads, honestly, that you could look at for this game. But we will look at now the previous results. What happened last time these two sides played? It was the final of Super Rugby Pacific, 41 points to 10 in favour of the Blues. Now, I don't think anyone really saw that game being as one-sided as it ended up being. Now, the game beforehand, it was a little bit closer, although 14 points separating those two sides, 31 points to 17. Now, there was a little bit of backstory behind that contest. I believe that was the one that because the Chiefs scored the last-minute try, it meant that the Blues lost their winning bonus point, which if they did still have that bonus point, it would have had them qualify above the Hurricanes. Now, the good news for the Blues was the fact that the Canes got knocked out, so they did end up with the home final. But I don't think that added too much to the rivalry. I think it's more so both in the North Island, both very talented teams have been waiting a long time to be back to the top. And I do think this season, both of them will be right up there for these standings. But now a score prediction. Now, I've already decided I'm not doing exact scores, but I'm going to say a team by how many. And I do think that the Blues, with the lineup that they've got, I do see them getting a good enough start that even though the Chiefs have got a great bench, it won't get them back into the game enough to be able to win it. Now, this game is also at Eden Park. Blues have a pretty impressive record there. I'm going the Blues by 10 in this match. I would like to see it closer, though. It would be great to see the Chiefs receive a losing bonus point for being within 7, but I'm going the Blues by 10 in this opening round of Super Rugby Pacific. But this game kicking off at 7:05 p.m. on Saturday night. I am going to be doing the commentary on the channel, so be sure to tune in for that. Also, let me know your score predictions in the comments down below. But I do thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. And I will see you all for the next one.